Taylor, former undisputed champion, WBO, current WBO champion, defending his titles against Teofimo Lopez. Live ESPN, ESPN Plus, June 10th, New York, Madison Square Garden. Josh, it's been a minute since you fought. How are you feeling? How's everything?
Yeah, good, man. Say I don't really care for the time that I've had out the ring. I've been in the gym all this time, so it doesn't really matter. I've had a lot of things going on outside the rings, obviously with injury and creating a new team around me, new coaches and full new team. So taking my time to do all that so that I can ensure that I get the best out of myself. So I've made the right decision, the right team, and got the right people around me, and now that helped bring out my 100% capability. So yeah, I'm happy where I am and buzzing for next week.
All right, so let's start with Teofimo Lopez, the boxer, right? 135 undisputed, lost to Cambosos, moved up to 140, fought Sandor Martin, kind of struggled a little bit. What did you make of his last fight at 140, and what do you make of him as a boxer overall?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. He's a good, solid fighter. Explosive, carries a lot of power. Yeah, that's about it. Explosive, carries a lot of power, makes a lot of mistakes. But he is a very good fighter at his best. So yeah, we'll see. His last fight, I take it with a pinch of salt. We've all had bad performances. I wasn't great in my last fight either. So you could ask him that kind of same question as well. But so I don't really care. I'll prepare him for the best version of Teofimo Lopez.
All right, so now Teofimo Lopez, the personality. He's been saying crazy stuff the past couple of weeks, just wild, outlandish stuff. How do you react to him just making these wild comments? You were in front of him face to face and you had to walk off. But what's your reaction towards his personality-wise?
No, I only walked off because he was just like, that was a little clip. He just goes away off rail, talks about all sorts of different stuff, making quotes about Mike Tyson, and just talks shit. Just talks shit. So he's boring. He's just boring and just talking for the sake of talking. So I just can't be arsed listening to him. I think the guy's a bit of a tool. He's a space cadet and a real asshole. So I just can't be bothered spending time with him. So I make nothing of him. I just let him say what he wants and let him bash on.
But how do you react when he says weird stuff like, I'm going to take his life, this and that? I think you've heard that quote. It's controversial. What do you make of that stuff? How could you react to that?
No, don't react. It's good. Let him come and try and take my life, and let's see who's the one that ends up in the back of an ambulance. So I say, that might be horrible to comment back, but let him come and try. We'll see what happens. The more good on him. Good on him. Let's see him take his best.
All right. So Keith Adick reported you had an interview with him. The judges, you were put in a request that you didn't want 3 American judges on the panel. Why was that? What's the reasoning behind that?
Not really reason. I've got a good lawyer that takes care of all my contract stuff. He goes through everything with a fine comb brush, so he makes sure that everything's on a good level playing field. So behind closed doors. So my lawyer dealt with all that, but I think it's a good choice. I am the visiting fighter coming over again. With my last fight here against Ramirez, all 3 judges scored at 114, 112 after 2 knockdowns, and Ramirez only won about 3 rounds. So 3-4 rounds, I think Ramirez only won tops, and they gave it 114, 112 with the knockdowns. If I hadn't knocked him down, I'd have lost that fight. So it's just a case of being on a level playing field, getting neutral judges.
All right, so the fight is in New York, Madison Square Garden. Is a lot of people, a lot of fighters have reverence for Madison Square Garden. It's a big deal for them. Is it a big deal for you to fight at Madison Square Garden?
Absolutely, it's a dream come true. It's another one ticked off the bucket list. There's not many fighters, especially from the other side of the pond, that get the opportunity to box in America, and box at top of the bill at Madison Square Garden or Las Vegas. So this is me done both now, and I'm truly honoured that I'm in these fights. I'm in these massive fights and able to box in these iconic arenas and venues across the world. So yeah, I'm honoured and proud and really happy and buzzing that I'm fighting here next week. So yeah, I can't wait.
All right, there's a lot of buzz in the 140-pound division. We're hearing Devin Haney's moving up, Ryan Garcia's moving up. But what's your preference? Do you prefer to stay at 140, or do you want to move up to 147? What's your preference in the future?
I might actually move down to super featherweight. I'm making the weight that well. I might move down to super featherweight.
But do you want? I mean, super featherweight, whatever. But do you want to stay at 140, or do you want to move around?
I might move up to middleweight. I might move to light heavy. I might move to lightweight. I don't know. So see what happens. I'll see what happens. Whatever fights are there for me, and whatever fights I feel that are interesting for me at the time, and as the right fight and a big fight, I'll take it. So I'm not really fussed whether it's at 140 or 147.
All right. So a big fight was announced this week. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I want to get your perspective as a boxer, just to get what your thoughts on that fight coming up.
I think that's a great fight. It's been a long time coming. These two guys are the two best in the division. They have been for some time now. And yeah, it's finally been made, which is good for the sport of boxing. And yeah, I think it's a real interesting fight. I'll be watching that both as a boxing fan and a potential future opponent as well. So yeah, I'll be really interested in watching that fight. I think it's a great fight. I think these guys are the two best. So yeah, it's a real interesting fight.
Who do you think has the edge in that fight?
It's a close fight. I think Errol Spence is very methodical and sharp, sticks to the basics really well, and is very sharp and strong. But I just think that Crawford has got a little bit more to his game. He's got a little bit more sort of repertoire in his pocket. He's got a little bit more. He can go southpaw, orthodox. He can box on the front foot and the back foot. He can sort of do it all. So I think he's just got a little bit more to his game, and I think he is the best at the minute out of the two of them. So I'd be sort of betting towards Crawford.
All right. So June 10th, Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez, live, ESPN, ESPN Plus, Madison Square Garden. When people tune in, what can they expect from Josh Taylor on June 10th?
Just a great performance. The king is back, and the king is back with a statement and a good, solid, strong performance. So yeah, I can't wait. Make sure you tune in, get your tickets, and come and watch a demolition job on June 10th.